Oh my gosh, we just read 4.5 hours worth of Blake Lively's lawsuit, and we're still not done. But we wanted to recap where we stand and what Kim and I thought.
Oh, this is bad. Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni is falling apart fast. And the biggest red flag? Key witnesses are refusing to testify. This case was supposed to be a slam dunk, a Hollywood scandal for the ages. But instead, it's looking more like a desperate PR move gone wrong. Legal experts are raising eyebrows, industry insiders are calling it weak, and Baldoni's team, they've got receipts. So, is Blake Lively's case about to collapse, or is there something even bigger at play? Let's break it all down, because this drama is just getting started.
All of it just feels like a nothing burger. It really feels like she's tripling down on accusations that really don't have much to them.
This was supposed to be her moment, the lawsuit that would paint her as the ultimate victim, the Hollywood golden girl taking a stand. But what if I told you this case is crumbling fast? More details are coming to light, and suddenly the narrative is shifting in a way she never expected. Her lawsuit is starting to feel like a whole lot of nothing. That's right, a total nothing burger. The accusations, serious. The evidence, suspiciously thin. And now, key witnesses are refusing to testify, a move that could completely blow up her case. So what's really happening here? Is Blake Lively's legal battle about to collapse under its own weight, or is there something even bigger at play behind the scenes? Let's get into it. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss the next update on this Hollywood disaster.
A couple other maybe crew members and things who didn't love all the hugginess on set, which is a valid complaint.
Blake Lively's lawsuit was supposed to be a slam dunk, so what happened? For months, Hollywood has been buzzing nonstop about Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, her former co-star and director. The accusation? Massive. She's claiming inappropriate on-set behavior, professional retaliation, and a toxic work environment. The kind of allegations that could end a career overnight if proven true. At first, the public was all in on supporting her. I mean, this is Blake Lively, the undisputed queen of effortless style, the internet's golden girl, the actress who's always been just the right mix of classy and relatable. Who wouldn't believe her? Fans, media outlets, and even industry insiders immediately took her side, assuming this would be an open and shut case.
My overall takeaway right now is that I think discovery and depositions are going to be absolutely critical, because both of these complaints involve so many people, and especially now with Blake bringing in other cast members and things like that, are unfortunately basically what we're hearing right now with anything new in this complaint is they'll testify to this, trust me bro. That there isn't anything super evidence-based at this point that we are seeing.
But then things got messy. Despite the seriousness of her claims, something feels off, and people are starting to notice. Even legal analysts and Hollywood insiders are now asking the same three questions. Where is the actual proof? If Baldoni's behavior was so bad, where is the undeniable evidence? Where are the damning emails, the leaked text messages, or the on-set footage that Hollywood scandals usually come with? Where are the receipts? In high-profile cases like this, you always see concrete evidence hitting the media, screenshots, insider leaks, or even former colleagues coming forward with first-hand accounts. But here, nothing. Why does everything sound so vague? Instead of solid accusations backed by real proof, her lawsuit is full of suggestive language, indirect claims, and unnamed sources. And let's be honest, if you've followed any Hollywood scandal before, you know that real dirt always finds its way to the public.
I was very hands-on with the choreography of it as well. Honestly, there were many instances on set where I just let the women figure it out, and I took a step back and kind of jumped in more as an actor in those scenes than even as a director.
And now things just took an even bigger turn for the worse, because the so-called key witnesses, the people who are supposedly there to back up her claims, are suddenly refusing to testify. That's a major red flag, because if her case was as airtight as she made it seem, wouldn't these witnesses be lining up to tell their stories? Wouldn't they be eager to make sure Baldoni is held accountable? Instead, radio silent. And when witnesses start backing out of a lawsuit like this, it's usually for one of two reasons. reasons. 1, they never wanted to be involved in the first place and feel pressured to take sides. 2, the accusations don't hold up under scrutiny and they don't want to risk perjury or damaging their own credibility. Either way, it's not looking good for Blake. So now the question is, was this lawsuit ever as strong as it seemed, or is it about to completely fall apart?
What was the most challenging scene for you to get right?
Oh my God, all of them. This whole movie, honestly, the work that I did on screen was easier than the work that I did off screen.
Let's talk about who's actually supporting Blake's case. According to her lawsuit, multiple cast and crew members were uncomfortable with Baldoni's behavior. That should be a huge deal, right? Except not a single one of these witnesses has come forward publicly. No leaked testimonies, no exclusive interviews, no bombshell text messages. And now some reports suggest that several of these people want nothing to do with the case. Let that sink in. If this was an open and shut case, wouldn't her co-stars and crew be lining up to support her? Wouldn't they be eager to expose the truth? Instead, we're getting radio silence, which makes this look less like a movement for justice and more like a desperate attempt to force a narrative. Even legal experts are saying Blake's case is thin compared to past Hollywood lawsuits. Where's the bombshell expose? Where's the career-ending scandal? So far, we've got a lot of dramatic accusations, but almost no actual proof. And that brings us to the next big problem.
Unfortunately, basically what we're hearing right now with anything new in this complaint is they'll testify to this, trust me, bro.
If you thought things were bad for Blake Lively already, buckle up because it gets even worse. More and more people are realizing that a huge part of her lawsuit is built on what legal insiders are now calling trust me, bro evidence. What does that mean? Well, instead of solid, undeniable proof, things like emails, texts, leaked footage, or signed statements, her legal team is basically saying, oh, don't worry, we have witnesses. They'll testify when the time comes. But so far, absolutely nothing. No signed affidavits, no leaked emails or text messages, no actual concrete proof. Instead, all we're getting are vague references to unnamed people who have yet to step forward. And if you know anything about high-profile legal battles, you know that's a huge red flag.
That there isn't anything super evidence-based at this point that we are seeing. But what it does mean is that so much of what she is saying here, I think, is going to be dependent on these other people testifying.
And here's where things take an even stranger turn. Some sources are now claiming that Blake's team is actively pressuring people to back up her claim. That's dangerous territory. It's one thing to have natural support from your colleagues, people who willingly come forward because they believe in your case. It's another thing entirely to be forcing people into a legal battle they never wanted to be a part of. And if those so-called witnesses refuse to testify in court, it could completely destroy Blake's credibility. Think about it. If she really had a strong case, if Baldoni's actions were as bad as she claims, wouldn't people be lining up to support her? Wouldn't they want to hold him accountable? Instead, we're seeing the opposite. Witnesses are backing out, people are distancing themselves, and now Blake's lawsuit is starting to look more like a desperate attempt to control the narrative than an actual fight for justice. So the real question is, if the case was airtight, why does it feel like Blake is struggling to keep it from falling apart?
And what's weird is it almost feels like she's forcing these cast members to come forward and share their thoughts.
And while Blake's lawsuit is falling apart, let's talk about Justin Baldoni's response, because he's playing this smart. His legal team is already poking holes in Blake's claims. They're calling out inconsistencies in her story. And they're dropping bombshells about real evidence that contradicts her accusation. According to Baldoni's lawyer, they actually have text messages, emails, video footage, and they're not afraid to use them in court. If that's true, then this case is about to take a wild turn, because if Baldoni's team really has receipts that contradict Blake's claims, then this lawsuit won't just fail, it could completely ruin her career. And that is where the real danger lies.
Friedman says the suit is filled with unsubstantiated hearsay of unnamed persons who are clearly no longer willing to come forward or publicly support her claims. Ouch, but true. It's truthful. If this guy's so bad, why wouldn't these people want to stand up with Blake Lively, the powerful A-lister, with everybody else and condemn him? It sounds like there's a lot more he said, she said, and levels of this that they don't want to be involved in this. They want to be excluded from this narrative, Blake. and you're forcing them to be.
Hollywood has a long memory, and if this case backfires, it could be career-ending. Studios don't want to work with someone who's seen as a liability. Brands don't want to sponsor someone caught in a scandal. And the public, they turn fast. Even fans who once defended her are starting to ask questions. People are wondering, has she been pushing this narrative too hard? And the worst part, even if Blake wins, her reputation may never recover.
He doesn't seem a bit less worried. Since documents do not lie, and people do, the upcoming depositions of those who initially supported Miss Lively's false claims and those who are witnesses to her own behavior will be enlightening. What is truly uncomfortable here is Miss Lively's lack of actual evidence.
So what do you think? Is this case falling apart? Will Blake Lively's Hollywood career survive this lawsuit? Or is Justin Baldoni about to prove her wrong with actual receipts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everything. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this legal drama is far from over. Until next time, stay tuned, stay messy, and stay ready for more Hollywood chaos.